Morning, Flosstube. It is 11:30 almost on June 20th. I started getting ready for this about an hour ago, but been chatting with a friend. She's going to let me use some of her photos of New England, Stonington and Mystic, Connecticut, that we were together. I mentioned in another video that I've lost some of my photos, and she's an amazing photographer, and she's willing to let me use some of hers for those places that we were at together. So anyways, we were figuring out Flickr out and how to share photos, and photos of becoming the bane of my existence for these days. I'll talk more about that later. June 20th. Don't have a whole lot to talk about. Tiny bit of haul, same whips that I have been working on, only one finished object. So what we're going to talk about later is, once I get through all that, is my Christmas in July plans. I'm going to just put them in here because the rest of this isn't going to take that long. I hope you enjoyed the slideshow at the beginning. It is of my happy place, Sarasota, Siesta Key Beach in Sarasota, Florida. Mixture of sunset and just regular daytime beach photos. We walked the beach quite a bit when we lived there. Definitely one of my happy places, and with the craziness that's going on in this country right now, I needed the peace and the beauty, and I hope you feel that too when you look at those pictures. Let's see, life. You guys know that I was in New York this past weekend. We had a wonderful time. We ended up not actually going to a Broadway show. We didn't get our timing worked out to get to the tickets booth when we needed to. Boy, this is looking grainy. Is it looking grainy to you? I have the blinds closed because they are so bright. I'm just going to open that a little bit. Maybe it helped. I don't know. Anyway, we went to the top of the One World Observatory, top of the One World Trade Center. A really cool. Now, we've been to the top of the Rock. We haven't been to the top of the Empire State Building. Maybe we'll do that on the next trip. But this was so much more. Not just because of where it's located and what it means, but wow, it was a great thing to do. They have it set up really cool, different things to look at. Highly recommend. It is now being touted as the highest building in the Western Hemisphere, so you can really see far. The day we went up, it was a nice clear day. It was just really cool. I really recommend it. You know, we didn't do a whole lot else, it doesn't seem like. We rode the subway a lot. We became experts in riding the New York subway and figuring out when we first, you know, we've been there multiple times. We've ridden it every time we've gone, but every time we go back, since it's been a while in between, we kind of have to relearn how to do it. And Mike joked that there must be people that have been wandering down there for 20 years trying to figure out how to get to where they want to go, because it's certainly not the clearest setup in the world. We did get on a train going the wrong direction one time, quickly got off and headed back the other direction. We also managed to walk in the wrong direction after coming up out of the subway. Even though we're looking at Google Maps and we think we're, okay, that's where that street is, so it should be down here. We probably walked 5 blocks before I said, the numbers are going up, they should be going down. So, yeah. But we did a bus tour, one of those open top bus tours. That's, you know, it was interesting. We didn't complete the whole circuit. But that's okay, we saw most of it. It's interesting because you spend an awful lot of time just sitting in traffic. It's, you know, there's some interesting things you hear about different parts of the city, you know, the different neighborhoods, and I find that fascinating. I love history. But there was an awful, and of course we were on at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I don't know whether there's a time when there isn't traffic in New York City, but there was an awful lot of time where we're just sitting there looking around. It's great people watching opportunity though, and there's a lot of people to watch in New York City. So anyways, we had a great time. It's always good to get out in the RV. We just enjoy doing that. even if we're just sitting there kicked up and relaxing, and that's what we need sometimes too. Let's see. I'm gonna look at my notes. So photos, I have been trying to get working on a photo book of our New England trip from 2014. I have 440 odd photos. Well, more than that once I pull the ones from Janine. I'll probably have 450 or so photos. Maybe not that many, but there's going to be a lot of pages. I spent a lot of time getting the photos uploaded into Shutterfly. First getting them pulled from various places and then uploaded into Shutterfly. I spent some time a few days ago creating some new pages, pulling layouts up and putting the photos on and creating the journaling. I went back into it last night and all that work was gone. It had not saved. There might have been some swear words said. I was not a happy camper. So looking around for other options, probably going to use Mixbook this time. I used Shutterfly the last time for our Florida book and it worked fine. It's a beautiful book. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But I pretty much lost my patience because I had to re-download everything from Amazon Prime Photos, which is where I store my photos now, and then bring them into Mixbook, and there were some that were missing again. It just, yeah. Anyway, let's see what's happening this week. Having lunch with a friend from Sarasota who actually, she's a snowbird. She has a summer home here in Annapolis. She's a knitting friend, a friend that I met at one of the customers from a Good Yarn. So I'll be getting together with lunch for her, or lunch with her on Thursday. Getting together with a friend on Saturday to help her with a sweater that I'm helping her to knit. Sunday, getting together with another group of stitchers. So lots of crafty stuff going on this week, and that's how we like it. So speaking of crafty stuff, first, Flosstube. I've only watched one new Flosstuber this week. I didn't watch any Flosstube over the weekend. I think I've mentioned this before. Wi-Fi's at campgrounds, you know, they usually offer free Wi-Fi. It truly is a case where you get what you pay for. It was okay for the most part, but it wasn't robust enough to stream video, so I didn't even try. Not worth the frustration. But the one I did watch last week is this Nana Stitches, Tamara Bowen. She is the friend that I met at the DC Metro Stitchers. Met in person for the first time. She has been a follower of mine and has commented a lot on my videos and on Instagram, so we kind of had a dialogue and going back and forth, hooked up on Facebook Messenger as well. So it was wonderful to meet her in person. And I was thrilled when she did her first Flosstube video because I've been encouraging her to do that. So I recommend you check her out. She's very excited to be on here and to be sharing her stuff. We have very similar styles, so if you like my stuff, you'll like her stuff. This Nana Stitches, I will be linking her below. I also wanted to call out two that I'm sure you all know, and if you don't, you need to go and check them out, and I'll link them below too. As I mentioned, there's a lot going on in this country that kind of makes me wonder where we're going as a country, and kind of discourages me quite deeply. So whenever I come across people that restore my faith in humanity, I'm going to call them out, and that's Julie, Gulf Coast Stitcher. Gulf Coast Stitcher on Instagram. She has her website, gulfcoaststitches.com. Again, all linked below. She is a woman of grace and kindness and honesty, and I appreciate that in today's world. If you don't know her channel, please check her out. If you've never shopped at her store, please do so. She has some wonderful things. She's constantly adding new stuff, constantly growing, and she is on top of her shipping and on top of her orders. She just is a very sharp businesswoman as well, and I really appreciate that. As you know, I'm on a budget, so as soon as my July budget kicks back in, Julie will be getting some of my money. I also wanted to give a mention to Teresa Vanette Kitten Stitcher. Again, we all know her, we all love her. I wanted to call her out because she's always uplifting, always kind, beautiful spirit. She kind of makes me wonder how she stays above the fray. She's just, she actually reminds me a lot of my friend V, who we went to visit in New England in 2014, and she had unfortunately passed away earlier that year very suddenly. So that's why a lot of us got together in Stonington to kind of, I think I mentioned that before. V was also a beautiful spirit and always felt the good out there. And that's who Teresa is. And I'm sorry. I'm very emotional these days with what's going on. So we're going to move past that and talk about my finish. And my finish is my sweater. I'm going to undo my microphone here, if I can find the little clippy thing. Hopefully not stealing my sweater. I'm going to back up, move my chair out of the way so you can see. Finished. You can just barely see. I don't have it tilted. My iPad's not tilted back enough. I love it. It worked out wonderfully. I was worried about how much of this yarn I had left for the sleeves. I was worried about the length, but I did want it to be 3/4 length sleeves. I think they are perfect like this. I love this collar, the treatment of this collar. The size, the length, you can barely see it. It's just coming down right past, not quite mid-thigh. Really, really nice length. So this is, as I had mentioned, a test knit for, I hope you could hear me back there okay. This is a test knit for Kat Buckmuller. Kitty Bee Knitting is her designing name. I've test knit several for her before. She is, if you like designs, if you like knitwear that has a very contemporary flair, that has interesting details, check Kat out. She's on Ravelry, Kitty Bee Knitting. Kitty Buck, B-U-C-H, I think is her Ravelry name, and Kitty Bee Knitting is her Ravelry store. So if you like those kind of details, interesting treatments, interesting designs, things that just aren't the same old, highly recommend her. The things I really like, so the bell sleeve, really, really cool. And these and the collar are knit holding a strand of fingering weight yarn together with a strand of mohair. What I have used is, I don't have the tags with me for the main colors. So I mentioned before, this is a fingering weight yarn from a dyer that no longer is in business, Saffron Dye Works. The bright pink is from Julie Spins. She is Julie Spins on Etsy. It is a single, and I had the mohair to match. Now, as I mentioned in my last video, I was very worried about running out of yarn. So one of the things we did, I was so worried, in fact, that I was working on this on this weekend, pretty much the whole weekend, which is why I don't have a whole lot of other things to show you. And I was getting really angry with myself because I didn't want this to turn out, not only after all this work, but I really was frustrated that it was going to turn out as something that I couldn't wear. And I love this design. I think it is so striking. So I just decided, basically, the heck with it. I'm going to find a yarn store, and I'm going to find yarn that I can work with to complete what I needed, to make it as long as it needed to be. And so I did. I told Mike, I said, I don't care what my budget is. I need this yarn. Consider it a business expense. This is a test knit. That's kind of a stretch. I'm not in business, but, we'll go with it. So anyways, I found a single that really worked perfectly. This is Dreamin' Colors Jilly with Cashmere, another fingering weight single ply yarn, and blended with, you can tell where it lightens up, but because it's blended with the mohair that's the same color as the other pink yarn, it really, I think, blends it together quite well. And the same with the sleeves. You can see where it lightens up, but I don't think it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Strong of a difference that it stands out too much. And it was just what I needed to give the extra length that I needed. These are 3 inches, that's what it's called for. I was afraid I was only going to be able to do 2 inches. So it gave me what I needed to do the cuffs with the right length and to be able to do all of the collar the right length. Now the other details I like. So you can see here, I'm going to stand up again. This portion in here, you can see the line here, and there's another line back here that mimics the raglan shaping on the sleeve. And so where this is all reverse stockinette, which means you're basically showing the purl side of stockinette, we switch to stockinette on the shoulders to mimic the stockinette on the sleeves. I think that is such a cool detail, and it catches the line of the raglan. The other thing that this mimics and calls out is the wedge shaping here at the hip line. So where we have stockinette here, the wedge is reverse stockinette, the purl stitch. So it's just these little details like this that really, I think, make an exceptional design, and Kat has done that with this. So that is my finished object for this week. Yay! No other knitting I'm doing. I'm waiting to, I think I had mentioned, Casapinka had asked me to test knit her mystery knit along coming up in July, and so I'm waiting. I'm not going to do anything else. I could work on Laura's cowl. I should probably do that while I'm waiting. But once she sends me the pattern for that, it'll be full speed ahead, and there won't be a whole lot else getting done, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so I did have a stitching new start yesterday. I had a finish. We need a new start. We won't talk about all those new starts I just had in May. That's in the past, right? I can't show you the new start, unfortunately, because it's a gift for a friend, and she may watch my channel. I'm not sure. Yeah, she may watch it. So we're not going there. You'll see it eventually. You know I'll be taking pictures. What I have been working on, I did work on my Lizzie Kate Snowman 10 a little bit while we were in New York. That's this handsome little guy. So there he is. So I got all of this filled in, got started on the trees down there. I have another tree to go, the border to do, so not too much more to go. This is a good one when I want something fairly mindless and easy to see. This is a good one to pull out. I did work on my Harbor Haven. I'm still trying to get some time in on this every day. So you can see this is part 6 and 7 that I'm doing together. So once I'm done, I will be caught up, although I hope I'm done before part 8 comes out, but we shall see. So the last time I had the girl in, I think I had some of this grassy area. So I got my sheep, I got my boat, I got quite a bit of the water started. This is the guys, there's a guy fishing over here. So this is his fishing pole standing up here. There's still a big sun that needs to go in here. There's still quite a bit to do, but I'm really hoping. And this is actually what I'm trying to concentrate on now that this is done. And before I get the other test knit, I want to really work on this as much as possible. So that's really the only stitching that I have to show you. I do have a little bit more haul besides the yarn. So the yarn shop, there are a number of yarn shops in New York City. I knew that I wanted to find one that carried a lot of hand dyed so that I would have good choices. There aren't a lot that carry a lot of hand dye. Of course, in New York City, they're like, you know, this big. The rent must be outrageous. So they're not that big, so they can't carry a huge inventory. I did find one, though, called Annie and Company Needlepoint and Knitting. And this store has a lot of photos. You know, I look on Google Maps to kind of see where it is and if it's reasonable to try and get to with, you know, what we're doing and where we're coming from. And they are on the Upper East Side, not too far from Central Park, a number of blocks over, but not too far. They do have a lot of photos posted in Google Maps, so I was able to see what their inventory looked like. And of course, their website lists which yarns they carry. And not only do they carry a lot of the main hand-dyed yarns like Mad Tosh and Hedgehog and Dream in Color, Zen Yarn Garden, but they also had some indies, some local to New York indie dyers, which, you know, I felt like they would have a good selection. It was a bit of a subway trip, but and that's the place where we got off and headed in the wrong direction and had to turn around. Maps. But anyways, it was a very nice store. Definitely more needlepoint than cross stitch. They had a few cross stitch charts. Most of them were older, not very interesting to me, but I did find one because, you know, support the economy and souvenir. So, and you know, I didn't want to spend a whole lot because I am on this budget thing. But I did find this, Once Upon a Tree by Jeanette Douglas. And I've mentioned before, I am a sucker for anything seasonal. I guess that's my jam, right? So, winter tree, spring tree, summer tree, autumn tree. Isn't that gorgeous? And of course, because it is Jeanette Douglas, it is silks, it is specialty stitches. I am going to probably be doing this in the called for silks. There's not that many. Well, you know, there's a handful for each different. I'm looking, I'm sorry, the chart, not the chart, but you know, the information about what you need is on the back, so that's what I'm looking at. Beads, specialty, Krynics, silks, yeah. So, Deb from Country Stitchers mentioned that this had actually been in, I think it was just Cross Stitch, or Cross Stitch and Needleworker. I forget. It was in a magazine an unknown number of years ago. I forget which year she said. So it is from a magazine that was later released as a chart. Seeing if there's a date on here. I'm not seeing it. 2010. So, 8 years old. I'm thrilled I found this. It was really the only one that interested me at all. The other little thing I got was a giveaway I won from Julie, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. I won the chart, Baby It's Cold Outside. We all know it. We all love it. I told her when I'm in Hawaii and it's 90-some degrees and very humid, I'm going to get out this. Baby, it's cold outside, right? She also sent, look how pretty this is. This is Fiberlicious Seahorse hand-dyed spun silk, 40 single strands, 48 meters. So that's about, it's 10%, so 52 yards. Is that my color? Julie, thank you. You know me. I know everybody knows me. Look, it matches my hair. Is that gorgeous or what? That you can kind of see the thickness of the strands there. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. So thank you very much, Julie. You know that will be put to good use. The other thing I got at the store was Planet Earth Fibers silk, 6-ply silk. Now I got this for the gift that I'm making for my friend because this is her favorite color. I had gotten before, I think I mentioned this before, I had gotten the sulky cotton thread for that, and I like the variegation on that. But this is her favorite color, cobalt. So I've started it like last night. This is really pleasant to work with. I think I'm going to do a video, kind of a review video on using this silk and show how it looks on different counts of fabric so you get a feel for what the coverage is. But I'm loving it. It's a great silk, great cost. I'll talk about all that in my review video. All right, so that is all of that stuff. 25 minutes. This is actually longer than I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. Christmas in July. So I went through my magazines and kind of decided what I'm going to work on. Now my plan for this, I'm just getting all this out of the way. My plan for this is to only do ornaments. I've tried to choose. I'll get it out, I promise. I've tried to choose ornaments that will be very simple and small and not take a lot of stitching to finish. So ones that I can get done in a day, maybe two. I have the other big projects, and I actually didn't pull them out. I meant to. My big projects that I'm going to intersperse amongst the little ones are the Kaniki's Whims and Prims Winter Wonderland. That's the one on the printed tree fabric that has the bell snickle and the deer. So that's one of the Christmas ones. The other Christmas one is the December chart by Cross-Eyed Cricket. There's another one. This is why I should have pulled it out, right? There's another one. I can't remember though. So, it just struck me. Is today the first day of summer or is tomorrow? Oh, so much to stitch. My plan was on the first day of summer to start, you know, the Lila's Studio Spring that I did. I have all 4 of the seasons. Again, seasons. My plan was on the first day of summer to start the summer one. I don't even know if I have the fiber for it. Plans. Oh my God. What is it that Fauna says? Good intentions, well-meaning intentions? I don't know. Anyways, segue back. Christmas in July. So what I've done is gone through my magazines and chosen the ones that I think will be fastest. I may need to put on glasses here. So, do you see what I see? Oh, isn't that funny? Get up there. That is this one right here. That is by DKT Originals. This is the magazine, this is the 1997 Christmas Ornament magazine. So, and I will say, you know, there's a lot of other ones that I like in these magazines that I really like. But again, my goal is simple and quick. So, this one, Hearts of Joy. Is that right? No, 4. Yeah. Hearts of Joy and Starry Santa. Yeah. Hearts of Joy and Starry Santa. So Hearts of Joy is JBW Designs. Starry Santa is Homespun Elegance. And I like how that's finished. I can handle that. Little tiny thing, right? I can handle that. So that, I mean, really, that shouldn't take very long. I folded these pages down so I know which page. Oh, this is funny. So when I pulled out these magazines to start looking through them, this fell out. halfway done with that puppy. That is this here, Hark. That is by The Heart's Content. Of course it is. It's probably over 1. Of course it is. Yep, Heart's Content. So I may or may not try and finish that one for this. Like I said, it's quite a bit done. So we'll see. There's quite a bit to go yet. You know how stitching goes. I actually don't even know where the fibers would be for this. That's a good point, isn't it? So there you have that. So funny. Oh my goodness. Are there any other ones in here? Okay, yeah, in here. Okay. And this one, number 2, Joyous Christmas. Down here. That is by From Mary's Heart. So that shouldn't take long. All right, so there is 1997. And I don't know how much I'm going to get fully finished. I hope to work on that as well. Okay, so this is 1998. On here we have Frosty. I love the stars dangling down here. I think that's really cute. That is by You and I and Friends. Of course it is. The other one is 3, Christmas Joy. That's by Little Designs Company. This one down here. I really like that one too, although that's quite, I mean, it's just this little square, but it's full coverage, a little square. That is, let's see, 6, Woodland Noel by Heart and Hand. And then the last one is Starry Snowman, again by Homespun Elegance. That kind of matches the Starry Santa that was in the last issue. And my plan is to just kind of grab one and start. I don't have any order planned for any of these. This one is a Prairie Schooler, 2x2 deer down here. That's probably a little more stitching with those deer, but it's still small. So I like that one. This one, let's see, number 6, Starry Night. That one down there. That won't take any time at all. And you can see these are all beads. And there's this little moon button. I don't know what I'll do about that. But I'll worry about that when the time comes. And then on here, first we have this mini band sampler up here by a company called Earth Threads. And then number 3 by the Sampler House, Partridge in a Pear Tree. I'm not sure I like that now looking at it. I like that single little pear dangling there. I'm not quite sure about that bird. Is that supposed to be the partridge? I don't know. And then Bent Creek's Joy to the World down here. I don't like that dark fabric, but I have plenty of blue fabric. So that's 98. 99. Okay, 4 and 8. So 4, again, Earth Threads, Christmas Pines. That's this one up here. That one I've kind of gone back and forth a bit on. That might be more stitching than I want to do in those trees, but it is satin stitch, so it should go fairly quickly. So I'm not sure about that one. And then 8, Miniature Bell Pull, the Drawn Thread. Look how pretty that is. I love that. That's a lot of stitching too, I think. But it's words, so we know words go fairly fast. I think that's really pretty. I really like that. Let's see. Poinsettia Sampler. This is another one. This is from somebody called Claire Hatton Designs. You know, a lot of these designers I don't think are in business anymore. That's this one here. I was kind of going back and forth on that. I don't particularly care for that purple stripe in there. So if I do that, I may switch that out. There's that one. Oh my goodness, look at all the things I have highlighted here. So So pretty much every single one on this page. Okay, so the first one, Christmas Stars, is by Handwork. That's this up here. That's a pretty one, isn't it? 2, The Starry Wreath. This is by Bent Creek. That one there. Again, maybe more stitching than I realized, but I think that's really pretty. 3, My Little Christmas Gift. That is this one here. 4, Peaceful Retreat by Something in Common. Look at that, isn't that pretty? I really like that. Let's see, 5, that's one of the ones I haven't chosen. Oh, because that's Hard Anger, Cross and Patch, yep. 6, Christmas Sachet. This is so pretty. This is by 13th Colony. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Such unusual colors for Christmas too. I love it. So pretty. And last, Sharing the Season from Mary's Heart. That's this little guy down here. And that will go quick. And I don't know, like if I finish one fairly quickly, will I start another one the same day? Probably not. I'll probably switch to the bigger Christmas ones that I want to do. Okay. Oh, yeah, Christmas Basket Ornament by Theron Traditions. Look how pretty that is. Again, probably more stitching than I realized, but isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, I love the shading in that. And you know, I haven't looked to see what any threads are. I'm not going to be buying stuff for this, so who knows? Who knows what it'll look like? Christmas Ornament Fob by Holly Designs. That little guy. Isn't that cute? That's so cute. That shouldn't take any time at all, she says confidently. All right, let's see, 2 more on this magazine, I think. So the first one is 'Tis the Season Teeny Tiny Needle Roll by DKT Originals. That's this little guy over here. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Isn't that pretty? That'll go quick. That actually looks like it's 1/1 too. Of course it is. And then Christmas Eve by Elizabeth's Design. Oh, this is so pretty. Look at that. That's a lot of satin stitches and some other kind of stitch in there with beads in it. That is gorgeous. And this is another one that has that little moon button, and this I think is a little bunny. So I'm going to have to see what I need to do about those. So that is that magazine. That was $99. Only 2 more. 2000. I was going to say, I don't know whether I showed it. No, it's in this next one. Okay, we'll talk about it. Hopefully I'll remember. Okay, so 3 on this page. Christmas Serenity by Earth Threads. That's this one here. Somebody likes, is it the same designer that used these trees on the last one? I bet you it is. That's pretty. That kind of creates a theme. Maybe I better do those one right after the other because I'll be in that mode. All Hearts Come Home for Christmas. Homespun Elegance. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? I think that's a button up there too. Yep. So again, we'll have to figure out something for that. And then Christmas Heart Pincushion, Mary Gary Sewing Cabin. That is that one there. I wouldn't put the needles on it. It's a waste of perfectly good needles. Well, I probably have some trashy needles I could put on there, so we'll see. 2 on this page. Oh, I really like this one. Fa La La by Twisted Threads. That there. Isn't that cool? It's kind of different, huh? And Christmas Spider by Lizzie Kate. All right, so that's this one here. It says Noel, and this is why it's called Christmas Spider, because she put a little spider charm. There ain't going to be no spider charm on mine. Maybe I'll get a little star charm. maybe I'll get something else. But I'm not putting a spider on a Christmas ornament. No. Sorry. All right, this one has a bunch too. Look, there's a Teresa Wensler. That's not going to be a quick stitch. All right, the first one, Joy to Thee by Handwork. That's this one here. The next one, The Berry Bird by Theron Traditions. That's over here, this little guy. Let's see. Merry Christmas to Thee from Mary's Heart. That's this little red sampler. That's pretty. Reminds me of Teresa's red sampler that she just did. Teresa Vanette. 5, All Is Calm, Little by Little Design Company. So I have a question for you guys on this one. That's this one here in the middle, All Is Calm. I like it, except for that bird. I know, we're all about putting a bird on it. But is that the strangest bird or what? I'm not putting that bird on it. I'll probably just do more stars because that bird is just weird. He kind of scares me. Yeah, I don't like him. And then last but not least, Peaceful Night by R&R Productions. That's this little one down here. So, that is that. And then one more page, only one on this one, Christmas in Your Heart. A Christmas Heart, Birds of a Feather. Is that the right one? 2, 3. Don't see any number on it. Keep Christmas in Your Heart. That'll be cool. So that is 2000, 2001. So what I wanted to ask you guys about, another Teresa Wensler on the first day of Christmas. I assume that she did these as a series in the next Christmas ornament, issues. So this is from 2001. I was this close to buying the DVD on Amazon this morning that has the Christmas issues from 97 to 2013. I didn't do it. I'd love to get that as a series, though. Isn't that pretty? So if you guys know, if you have the follow-on issues after 2001, could you let me know if the series continues? I know she's out of the designing business. I know she's pulled her designs, but I assume if they're in this magazine like this, like on the DVD, that she's not going to pull those. So let me know. All right, first, in this one, JBW's Designs Noel Wreath. That is this little guy right here. Pretty simple, I think. Let's see. Oh, goodness. This isn't one of them I'm choosing, but let me unfold that so you can see it. Look at that beauty. Sue Lentz. You know I love Sue Lentz. Isn't that cool? I love that. Someday. Not for this, though. So the first one, 3 Threads Through Times. Thread Through Time. Threads Through Time. Joy to the World. That's this pretty little guy. 4 Graphs by Barbara and Cheryl. Noel Sampler Ornament. That is over here. Again, don't really care for the color she used. Don't even know if I have the color she used, so that will probably get changed. And then last, Amaryllis Artworks North Star Mandala. That one there. And again, boy, that fabric is dark. I'm sure it looks much prettier in person. Again, North Star Mandala. What do you think? Use this instead of that. I like that idea. I think we have a winner there. I might start with that one. All right, next page. Ursula Michaels Designs Mistletoe Ornament. That's that one. Isn't that pretty? Again, probably more stitching than I realize. But it's small. How long can it take, right? Maybe that one will take 2 days. I'll report back. Let's see. Number 3, Snow Glow by Linda Reeves Designs. That's that band sampler. Isn't that pretty? Kind of, I don't like the variegated as much here because it makes it hard to read, so I wouldn't be using that kind of thing. Do you like the way I'm squinting so much? Does it make you as uncomfortable as it does when I'm watching somebody do it? I don't feel like putting my glasses on. And the last one, Shepherd's Bush, The Angels Sang, down here. Now, she has a little trumpet charm. I probably wouldn't even worry about it. Isn't that pretty? Definitely Shepherd's Bush, right? And there's been other Shepherd's Bush in here. Oh, here's the Teresa Wensler again. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, almost done, guys. Number 2, Elizabeth's Design Christmas U. Oh. There. I like him. Put a sheep on it is my saying. There is a prairie schooler in here with another sheep, but that's too much stitching. So, yeah, that ain't going to happen. At least not for this. And then Wishing You Joy by Homespun Elegance. That is that one up there. So, nice sheepy ones in there for my, if I send that to my friend in Sarasota, that's the sheep lover, my spinning weaving guru. Okay, on this page, Heritage Series Snowflake 2001. That's this one down here. And then also next to it, number 6, Theron Traditions Peace in the Woods. That one there. It's pretty, isn't it? There's so many pretty ornaments. I mean, really, there's so many on each page, but I had to choose wisely. Next one from Mary's Heart, Merry Christmas 2001. It's this little one up here. Again, there's a lot of stitching in that tree, but hopefully it'll go fast. That looks like it's a tiny count fabric. Handwork, Rejoice. That is that one there. And number 7, the Work Basket Christmas Sampler. That is that one. And let me just say, I love the finishing on this. The hem stitch and then just stitch to probably wool with a hanger. I was actually thinking all my little quilt squares that I have from my, like I said, grandmother's neighbor. I would love to be able to, this one isn't particularly Christmas colors, of course, but I'd love to be able to use these in finishing some way. So stay tuned for that. Is that all from that? I just kind of plopped that down. Nope, there's another page. Last page. Trail Creek Farm, A Starry Merry Merry Christmas 2001. That's that one. That may or may not get done. That tires me looking at it as far as the finishing is concerned. Lizzie Kate, The Greatest Gift is Love. I like how that's finished too. And then, let's see, Heart and Hand, Needle Arts, Christmas Cheer. That is this one down here, which again, I love that finishing. I love how it's fringed, stitched around the stuffing somehow, and then this cording put around where the stuffing is. I think that's really cute. That's cool. I could probably even do that. And then X Appeal Designs Christmas Hearts. That's this one here. None of these are going to get put into frames, but that might be a cute finish for a little one of the little block things. I have to watch Heather's video on how to do that. It's on my watch later list. So many things on my watch later list. So guys, that is all the books, all the magazines. I have pulled out the fabrics that I think will work. That's a little thing of a 46 count in oil green from XG Designs, so that should be fun on one of them. Hopefully the colors will work. I have ones like this piece that has these odd things hanging off of it. Part of it is still good for a bigger design, but like this I can cut off. So I'm just kind of going through. I just pulled out like this little side over here of this big piece I could cut off. Not exactly a Christmassy color, but who knows, it might work. And I also have little pieces like this. This is the little piece that I tea dyed, coffee dyed. It still smells like amaretto coffee. Little piece of gray. This is the one that I actually was using for the Bent Row, or the Bent Creek Summer Row that I didn't like. I might just save that for something else, for another long skinny one, or I might cut it up. So you can see just all kinds of odds and ends in here. The ones that I don't think I have a lot of 40 count odds and ends. So the ones that call for 40 count, like this is a 30 count, I could do 1/1, right? This is actually more of a blue than a gray that it's coming across there. I have these little skinny pieces. Will these work? It's a pink. Will it work? I don't know. I hope so. So this is what I'm planning on. Every day I'm just going to open a magazine, grab a magazine, open a magazine, basically point and pick a project, pull out whatever fibers I need and go. I'm not going to do a video every day. I don't want to get into that. I want to spend more time stitching than recording in July, and see how much I can get done. I don't know how much I'm going to get fully finished. I hope to do some of them. I want to keep it simple. I would love to try a pillow. I'd have to hand stitch it. I just don't know. Or maybe I'll borrow my friend's machine, see if she'll let me use it. So we'll see. Everything's a big question mark at this point, but those are my plans. I hope you'll join me. Christmas in July. We are going to do a hashtag on Instagram. JHC, that would be me, Jan Hicks Creates. Hashtag JHC Christmas in July. Because I'm sure there's a lot of Christmas in July hashtags on Instagram. I'm sure that's a pretty common thing to do. At least I think so. So we're going to start it with JHC. So hashtag JHC Christmas in July. I will link or list that below. I think that's it. I'm at 52 minutes. That's plenty of time. I think this is the longest I've ever done. So guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate your comments. I really, really do like the interaction that we get into sometimes. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to meet people and make friends, and that's what this is all about. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed what you saw here. If you're coming back and visiting me again, I do appreciate it. I know you're taking your time out of your busy day. I hope you got some stitching done and some inspiration. Let's see. I'm going to record a stitch with me. Not a stitch with me. Well, I am going to do a stitch with me, probably Friday. Today's Wednesday already. Tomorrow's lunch. Maybe later today. Maybe not. Maybe tomorrow before lunch. I'm going to do the review of the Planet Earth Fibers silk. I don't have a whole lot of other silks that I can compare it to, but I'll pull out what I have and we'll take a look at that too. So that's me. This week I'll be stitching more on Harbor Haven. And maybe I'll get Lizzie Kate done as well. 10 more days in June. I think that's right. 30 days has June. Anyways, guys, have a great day. Find the joy. In this world that we live in today, do whatever you can to find the joy. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.